The Corpus Domini Church in St. Paul's area of Rabat, Malta, was built in 1726. That means in 2026, it celebrated its 300th anniversary. The church was dedicated to Corpus Domini, which translates to Body of the Lord, and it's a beautiful example of Baroque architecture from the early 18th century. Over the centuries, it has been a place of worship and community gathering, reflecting Malta's strong Catholic traditions. Inside, you'd find ornate altars, religious artworks, and a sense of history that spans 3 centuries, including that the Feast of Corpus Christi in Rabat is noted on June 21st. Historically, the church, built in 1726, is a Baroque-style place of worship dedicated to the Body of the Lord, and it has served as a central part of the local Catholic community for 3 centuries. The St. Paul area of Rabat, Malta, was built in 1726 during the Baroque period. Its dedication to Corpus Domini, or the Body of the Lord, reflects Malta's deep Catholic roots. Architecturally, it's a Baroque church, meaning it has a richly decorated facade and interior, with ornate altars and artwork typical of the 18th century. Over the years, the church became a focal point for the local community, hosting regular masses, feast days, and special celebrations, like the Feast of Corpus Christi. It has stood through wars and political changes, remaining a symbol of faith for the people of Rabat. While details about specific renovations or events over the centuries aren't widely published, the church has been maintained and preserved by the local parish, allowing it to reach its 300th anniversary in 2026 as a living piece of Maltese heritage. It was built in 1726 to serve the growing Catholic community in that part of Malta. At the time, Malta was heavily influenced by the Baroque style, so local architects and craftsmen designed the church with ornate details and grand proportions typical of that era. Construction would have involved the local parish community, skilled stonemasons, and artisans who carved the limestone, built the vaulted ceilings, and created the altars and frescoes. The church's dedication to Corpus Domini reflected a focus on the Eucharist, and it became a spiritual center for worship and community gatherings. Over time, the church's role expanded, but its origins lie in the early 18th century effort to build a lasting place of worship that reflected the religious devotion of the Maltese people. St. Paul's Church in Rabat, Malta, is believed to be built over the grotto where St. Paul stayed after being shipwrecked around 60 AD. It's an important pilgrimage site, known for its Baroque style and sacred significance. Corpus Domini, also known as the Feast of Corpus Christi, celebrates the real presence of the body and blood of Christ in the Eucharist. It was established in 1264 by Pope Urban IV and is celebrated on the Thursday after Trinity Sunday, though some countries observe it on the following Sunday. It's a major feast in the Catholic Church, focusing on the Eucharist and often marked by processions through the streets. St. Paul's Church in Rabat is part of a larger complex that includes the St. Paul's Grotto, underground catacombs, and the Wignacourt Museum. The church we see today was built in the 17th century, and it's a beautiful example of Maltese Baroque architecture. Visitors often explore the grotto, believed to have sheltered St. Paul after his shipwreck, and the nearby catacombs give a sense of early Christian burial practices in Malta. On Corpus Domini, also called Corpus Christi, the focus is on the Eucharist. Historically, it started as a local feast in Liège, Belgium, after visions reported by a nun named Juliana of Liège. Pope Urban IV made it universal in 1264 to emphasize the belief that Christ is truly present in the bread and wine. Traditionally, there's a special mass followed by a procession where the consecrated host, in a monstrance, is carried through the streets, accompanied by hymns and prayers. Many communities decorate their streets with flowers or carpets in honor of the occasion, making it a vibrant cultural event as well as a religious one.